Oh my goodness. I know. I kind of want a German Shepherd. Like one
I
day.
want one so bad.
You want one?
This girl is like so well behaved. Oh my goodness. I tell her to do anything, she does it.
We, I love a dog like that that obeys and does not eat all my granola bars.
Hmm.
Anyway. All right, so we're going to talk about Symphony of Cells and why and what it does. We not because, but we will be using this book, which is the journal portion of the Symphony of Cells, and you can go to True Wellness, truwellness.com to buy it. This has in the book, it has a 6 weeks to wellness program. So the journal has that for you, and I love it. And so we're actually going to be doing that with Piper because I don't know what's going on with her. I assume it's some type of familial type of issues because my whole family deals with autoimmune issues. And so we're going to pump her full of oils and see how that does. We're going to monitor that for the next 6 weeks starting today. Her issues are largely just pain. And so that brought me to inflammatory. So I'm doing inflammatory protocol on her first. So we're going to talk about why we do this and which oils. And then with BOGO week, I think the turmeric is going to be doubled with the Copaiba capsules if I'm just being hopeful, wishful, because that's the normal combo that goes there. On Guard will probably have Breathe. Lavender and Arborvitae was a surprise. So that's cool because Arborvitae we use a ton with the infectious disease protocol. And so anytime our kids feel like they're running something going on, I don't know, someone in the house is sick, we do this one. And it has Melissa / Arborvitae. Arborvitae is less expensive, but it's actually you're supposed to use both. So why do we do Symphony of the Cells? We do Symphony of Cells because Boyd Truman is brilliant, and we went to his training, and he talked largely about the many years that he's been using the oils this way, and a certain using the chemical composition of each oil and combining them slowly in the matter of like giving each one about 30 seconds to a minute on your body so that that specific oil can enter into the cell, transmit all of the information from the chemical constituents into the cell, and then adding another one on top of that so that as one is being used and your cells are being told what to do, then the next one can come in. It's almost like a book, right? The book is reading information, it's giving information to the cells in a slow flow, so to speak. And he has done tons of research on which ones go well together and in what sequence. I'll just preface that with you're not really going to mess up. If you don't have an oil, skip it. If you have an oil that has it in a blend, use it. Like it's better to put the oils on than to stress about it, right? Because what does stress do to our body? Wax us out, right? So when I hear people say, well, what do you use? What do you use in place of aluminum foil because it causes Alzheimer's? And if I buy my steak and I cook my steak and then I wrap it in foil to keep the juices in, I'm like 80-20 people. 80-20, like that stress that you're causing on yourself using the aluminum foil for like 2 seconds is far more damage than that aluminum foil. So we have to have perspective, right? So we are going to go through this, and typically, and actually I'm going to do it on her. I'm not going to do it on camera. I was going to, but she's out there feeding chickens and stuff. So we are just going to talk through the inflammatory process oils and why we would do this. And I'm going to walk through like the body systems, and I'm going to read to you what it says so that you can just hear what a protocol is for. And then there's like 13 protocols. There's a lot of protocols. So why this one? So the inflammatory application, it's one of the original from Symphony of Cells. So like in the very first book that it was in there, it was developed and it is one of the most commonly used to relieve like head pain, neck pain, back tension, even just soothing muscles and joints after a workout, all the way to if you really have something systemic going on. And so why would we put the oils on a lot. Like this is, some people consider this to be excessive or a lot. If you go by the standards, which I feel like, and I know this, that doTERRA puts out a standard of how many drops you use or how many you take internally. They really, really go on that conservative end. In Symphony of the Cells and Boyd Truman would be opposite spectrum, to keep it real. And not everyone is comfortable with that. So I don't ever force this on people. I like to give the testimonies of what I've seen happen. And so when I had a severe sinus infection and one application got me up out of the bed and I was out teaching classes that same day, that's a real life situation that where it worked. Another situation is a friend who came to my house. She had what's it called? Not scabies. It's like herpes simplex. Like I can't remember the name of it. Anyways, you get it around like your midsection and under your arms sometimes, and like up in the eye, and it's from like chicken pox.
Shingles.
Thank you, Kelly. Shingles, or it was in her eye. And so we did Symphony of Cells, and the next day it was gone. Those are powerful testimonies. And that's why Boyd's training is so good, because you get to hear testimony after testimony of how it's working for people. For Sam, he had a crick in his neck. So he slept wrong, right? And typically that's what we think, like, oh, we slept wrong and our neck is out, when the reality is largely it's gut related. And so we were able to do digestive protocol and then inflammatory protocol. And within a day and a half, his neck was straight again. The pain was gone. I mean, it was excruciating to watch a little eight and a half year old boy like not be able to walk or move, and every time he moved he was like screaming in pain, because we know that, right? We know that pain, but for a kid that's terrifying. You feel like you don't know what's going on. You almost feel like you're going crazy. That was a powerful moment to watch, to watch his body be transformed with the oils. So we use them in order. So there's usually 10 steps. We almost always start with frankincense. We almost always end with peppermint. And frankincense opens up the cells to be receptive to all of the oils that are about to come in. It's like the gateway. We use it as a spiritual oil to help open a pathway to God, so that it's just, we're more open to that. And then use oils like tea tree that lyses anything that's in there that can help clean out the cells. Wintergreen and birch. You won't probably find birch. It used to be the free oil in all the convention kits, but they've changed that because we don't have any supplies. Wintergreen is great for anti-inflammatory and really soothing the cells. The massage blend is great because it has many oils that are great for blood flow. You have lemongrass, also great for heart health and blood flow. Siberian fir, very soothing to the muscles. We don't really talk about fir oils that way, but fir oils are fantastic for massaging and helping our muscles be soothed. Helichrysum is, again, blood flow, nerve tissue, and like arterial type tissues, and it's going to help manage the elasticity and how those cells in the arteries and the veins are working. And then soothing blend is deep blue. Obvious reason is pain, right? It has all the oils that are great for pain, but it's also great for blood flow as well, and getting everything cooled down and calmed down. So we're trying to reduce inflammation. And then peppermint just drives it all in. You lay a warm towel over top, sit there for 10 minutes, and you feel like a new person when you're done. We'll have to go through the 6 weeks to wellness one day and talk about what that is, but the book spills it all out. And I like that because it takes all the guesswork out. You just set an alarm on your phone, make sure you have the oils, and you just do it. And it's daily for 6 weeks, and you really hone in on what might be happening in your body. So that's the basics of the Symphony of the Cells. And here are my most common questions. I don't have anyone to do it on me. How do I do it? That's like the number one thing people say. 2, I don't have an oil. What do I do? Which I already addressed, right? And 3, they're just kind of skeptical or not sure if they should put it on. Those are the 3 things that we come up with. Number 1, absolutely you can do it on yourself. As a matter of fact, I think Oil Life sells these really cool wands. It's like a wooden back scratcher, but it has a spot where you push your oil roller bottle in there or your oil in there, and you can like drip it on your back or roll it on your back. So it's like magic. If you have somebody who has struggles with reaching, take your shoes off. This is my favorite way to do it on myself. Take your shoes off, take your shirt off, lean backwards on a chair, and then have all your oils right there. So you can drip it down your back, and then you're going to rub it and rub it on the top, on the bottom, and then the bottom of the feet. And it's just this reach as far as you can both ways. Bottom of the feet, breathe it in, go to the next oil. And that's it. It's so simple. Like when I first tell people this, they're shocked that that's all. Like that's all. Yeah, that's it. And then if someone doesn't have an oil, we mentioned that. Well, there is a replacement section in the back that says, hey, if you don't have this oil, use this, right? Boyd Truman does not recommend. He said there isn't a number 2, right? But people beg for this. So he went ahead and tried to figure that out for you. And there are subs. So like if you don't have arborvitae, use Melissa. Or if you don't have Melissa either, use Siberian fir. It goes on and gives you 3 options. So someone will find something in there. The other thing is using how much to use. For kids, 1 to 2 drops is what I use. Even for babies, just do 1 drop. For elderly, if they struggle with like liver issues or detoxing, somebody that would do that, then you just want to use less. So 1 to 2 drops. For a normal, my son is 14. He is a lot larger than I am, and I'm going to be using full force with him, 5 to 6 drops of each oil. And I think the book even says like 4 to 6. So whatever you're comfortable with. And on top of that, if you have someone who has sensitive skin, I always bump it down. So I have 1 kid with sensitive skin. So I do 1 to 2 drops. If it's peppermint or oregano, I do 1 drop. You're still getting the goodness in there, right? And then if it when in doubt, add extra coconut oil on top of it to layer it out. So those are things that I always questioned in the beginning. Am I doing it wrong? Am I doing it right? Am I going in the right direction? It was just way too much thinking and not enough doing, if that makes sense. So just do it and you're going to be fine. And if someone is uncomfortable with the drops and how it works, have them start with the basic protocol. It only has 4 oils. It's like, I think you have all of them in the main kit. Tea tree, frankincense, and I think it's On Guard maybe. Let me double check. And then Aroma Touch. They would have to buy Aroma Touch. So when I know that someone has something systemic going on, I always suggest add Aroma Touch to your order or get it in your cart for next month because it's in several of the protocols and most specifically the basic one. So if we just want them getting rolling with getting the oils on. Tea tree, peppermint. Yeah, instead of On Guard, it's peppermint. And so that makes sense if I say you start with frankincense and with peppermint and get them in your body. Okay, so that's all I'm going to talk about today. We're going to keep it super short. Does anyone have a testimony or a question?
I have used Symphony of Cells before. Back when I was at convention, I got really sick one day because I have this really bad habit of just not drinking water when I need to drink water if I'm traveling. And then I got a horrible UTI infection, like so bad. It was just like I couldn't move. And then 2 of the ladies came and did the Symphony of Cells on me. And it's like within an hour, I could like walk again and I was feeling better. And it was just like I was like, this is awesome. And then I got the books because I'm like, yes, I need to do this more often. So yeah. I love it.
I'm so glad they were there to help you and that you did it because, oh my gosh, it stinks. So that leads to another thing that I didn't mention. You should totally be hydrating a lot. Like before doing it. So I'll be having Piper hydrate a lot before and after because it's just releasing toxins, right? So it's going in and getting good information in the cells and taking the bad information out. Hey, Mikey.
You want to say hi? What? You want to say hello?
Hey, Bob.
Hello.
How you
You
doing?
miss me?
Yeah, I miss you, buddy.
Are we gonna go get Cece in a little bit?
Look, this is your outfit.
Yeah. Okay.
You go
Say
get
bye.
Susie. Bye, buddy.
Sorry.
He looks just like Susie. It's so funny.
I know.
Okay, well, that's it, guys. So unless you have questions, go enjoy BOGO week. It's usually crazy.
If you want to stop the recording, I have something to talk to you about.
Yep.
All right.